Hey y'all, happy Wednesday. It's Kate's Garden Chicken and Cat Rambles, and I'm sure there's nothing much on the screen right now, but my partial that has my two front teeth shall be here this week. So by the end of this week, it takes a while to make it. So so you don't get to see me, but maybe we'll get to see some of the chickens. It's about 3:30, 3:40 in the afternoon, and we've been hotter, but our heat index is in the triple digits. And they've had their ice water at noon, but I'm coming to give them some tomato from the garden and to bring them a new cabbage. Hey, you're making me bleed, mister. What the fuck is your problem? Anyway, yeah, Laddie just flogged me and I am bleeding now into my shoe, which I hate. He hasn't flogged me in weeks, so I don't know what his issue was. He doesn't like it when I'm talking, so I don't know if that makes him nervous or what, but ouch. Ow. Ow, 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 ouch. That hurts. I wish I had something to stop it. I normally have a bandana in my pocket, but and these aren't his spurs that are doing this. This is just him. So I will probably end up removing his other spur just to be safe. I've been calling him Little Randy. That's what I've been calling Cosmo. But he charges me, but he's nothing like Laddie Roo. So I'm bringing them a jug of ice. I don't know what you can see from the camera. You can probably see me, maybe, and them. Ooh. Okay, so I'm putting a piece of ice on the little hole he put in my leg just to help stop the bleeding. But I have brought them ice. Yeah, you need to back off, mister. What is your problem? Get back. I am bringing you ice and stuff you like. I don't have red on. God, he's being a prick. Yeah. Yeah, now they're all pecking at the ice. That he maybe spilled the ice. He's been so good for so long. And we've had a little bit of cooler weather, so I've been trying to do a little bit of lap time, but I refilled waters at noon like I always do. But now I'm adding more ice to what was refilled. Especially inside the coop because it's getting late enough in the day. I'm sorry about the noise and my belting. But they'll be in here before long. Okay, I've stopped bleeding. Ice did the trick. And they will, like I said, the air that blows across that waterer adds a little extra cold for them. So I'm sure they're probably out there. If you see them on the screen, then they're probably still pecking at some ice. I just fill the pitcher that I normally fill their water when I bring it from inside with ice. So their little green and white waterer was about half full of water, and I filled it with the rest of the way with ice. And the fan does kind of blow across it. We're not hotter today than we've been before. I mean, we're in the triple digits for the heat index, but we don't have any clouds. We're past any kind of raininess, but oops, sorry. There. Be the evilness. But I'm keeping ice water and trying to do everything I can to keep them cool. All right, so Chaos just walked in. I don't know if you can see him, but He used to always go around the yard and check everything out, but yeah, look. So now I made it stop bleeding, but look, it stained my shoe. Evil little bastard. He hasn't flogged me in weeks. I don't know if it's because I was carrying the noisy ice thing, or if I was. They obviously don't like it when I'm talking. It makes them nervous. So I don't know. Come on. I mean, they grew up with television. They grew up listening to me talk to the cats. Come on, Chaos. Come on, Kiki. Come on. So I don't know, but I can't hold it against him because maybe he's just hot and cranky. I know what it's like to be hot and cranky. Stop squealing and growling at me. So anyway, I'm not going to show you, but I did mow the yard today. Well, okay, I'm going to show you just because I want to get away from here. I need to move, but I took a lot of the boards off the top of this. I'm going to take the tarp off and just leave the wood. I'll leave it. I probably should buy like a real brooder, you know. But next spring, if it's still in good shape, I'll put hardware cloth around the edges. Well, it's already got steel cloth. I could probably put chicken wire around the edges and I can use it as a brooder come next spring. I have an independent heater. It'll give the chicks fresh air. I don't know if I get more chickens, but anyhow, look, yeah. I came out today a little bit afternoon because this morning it was just too wet. And I didn't water this morning because we got a little bit of rain last night. But I came out and I weed eated everything down as low as I could. Now this, I had to put these flags here. There's no watermelons there, but those flags are to mark the edge of that hole. So from those flags to probably about 18 inches across is the hole where the septic tank lid is. But this, as if you remember, was all the old okra stalks. And we get this, I think it's a Johnson grass. I don't know what it is. And this is just growing out of a couple of holes where I used to have okra. I think I went through 2 or 3 batteries, and I just slowly weeded it down. And then I got on the mower and I started at like the highest, which is like 4.5. I went down to 3 and just mowed it all down. What the weed eater couldn't get. So I've still got a ton of cucumber. I had some cucumber who had their little tendrils wrapping around my beets. Yeah, I wasn't happy about that. And I moved them, and hopefully, you know, I'll get a few beets this year. I'll eat the beets, Paul will eat the tops. That's kind of how it goes. But I weeded a lot over there around the edges. And I just mowed. I really want Paul this winter to burn all that down, but because I'm out of city limits, I think if we put up fencing, especially if we put up some goat fencing, I might get a couple goats this next spring because, well, for one, my hunt looking at property in Oklahoma is not going great. And I'm going to start looking. I want in the southeast part of Oklahoma, or at least, you know, south central, or at least the central east part in the Watchtower Mountains. But I may end up around, you know, Broken Bow and that kind of place. But it just depends. Paul is integral to, I mean, we are partners. We have a lot of animals together. He takes care of me. I take care of him. Though it's not a relationship in the normal sense. We love each other. We care about each other. We are not romantic or social together, but we do have a life together, which is, it's plenty for me. It's fine for me. But and for him, obviously. But his best bet is if he can eventually move his contract. Paul retired from the Air Force. He spent 24 years in the military. And now he works as what they call a civilian contractor for the Air Force, doing the same thing he did when he was in the Air Force, which is work on the C-5 Super Galaxies, jets, whatever, you know. So, and whatever planes military needs him to do the electrical. He's electrical engineer. But Lawton in Oklahoma, Lawton does have a base. So if we go back to Oklahoma, which we've really been wanting to, you got Tinker or Lawton. There's a few smaller Air Force bases, but they don't get enough traffic that they would really need probably a full-time civilian contractor maintenance guy, but you never know. But there's the Wichita Mountains. So there's the Ouachita Mountains in southeastern Oklahoma, goes up almost to LaFleur, into LaFleur County, almost to Eufaula, which I'd love to live around Eufaula, and the eastern part of Oklahoma close to Arkansas. The western part just so hot. But there is the Wichita Mountains, which I want someplace in the mountains, someplace that I can live amongst the trees but have some land and blah blah blah. Anyway, but he would have to be able to that's the only other option, if of maybe him being able to transfer his civilian contractor. I mean, he has his retirement from the military, but it doesn't matter if it's for the military or what. But this day and age, trying to live off retirement is just insane. I blew through anything I had saved or put away, and I take care of all the groceries, and I take care of all the. We eat a lot of quiche, and we eat a lot of eggs, and we have veggies, and we're doing fine. And if we end up having to stay in Delaware, which Paul doesn't want to stay on the East Coast because he knows if there was ever anything, he's not a conspiracy theorist, but there are a lot of nuclear reactors here. The East Coast, we're only 2.5 hours from New York City, 2 hours from Philly, all that kind of stuff. The East Coast would be a prime spot if we were ever attacked, or if there's ever a major climate craziness, and he wants to be in a little bit higher ground. But anyway, if we stay in Delaware, we stay in Delaware. I will make the best of it. I like the milder climate, though. This summer, you would never know it was a milder climate. But we could fence in this, which would be probably almost a half acre. That is kind of confusing because from the yard part to our property line, the neighbor's fence, there's probably 40 feet. So I would say there's probably 40 by 150 feet of yard that we don't use. It's just overgrown. I'd love to have some goats eat that crap down. But for pets, I mean, yeah, if I had a goat that I could milk, I would be making soap and cheese from it because I love goat cheese, and goat's milk is really good for you. This is just an FYI. If you have a baby that has a lot of colic and a lot of cradle cap, goat's milk can help with that a lot. Switch them from what milk and formula they're on, if you can, and put them on some goat's milk. My stepson had a lot of colic and a lot of issues, his skin and cradle cap and that stuff when he was a baby, and goat's milk. They switched him to goat's milk and took him off anything that was cow's milk. Just goat's milk, and I don't know what kind of formula they might have used. I don't know. But the goat's milk cleared it up, and that kid could eat anything and everything as he grew up. Anyway, enough about that. So there's my naughty naughties. The flowers have died on top of her grave. I made a little video short today, a little magic movie of just the wildflowers doing great, and not much going on today. It's just hot. We're getting back to being hot. They're predicting next week we're supposed to have some highs that aren't supposed to get out of the 70s, high 70s. But oh my gosh, I would love that. So here's Chaos sitting at the coop, the door to the chicken yard. He doesn't really want to go in. He'll go in just because he's a cat and curious. Look at his little ears. Yesterday I cleaned them really good and put Neosporin cream, which helps with any kind of pain. So I covered them with Neosporin. Actually, I was out of the cream with it. I put some of the Neosporin ointment. They don't like you to use ointment because of the petroleum and because the animal might lick it, but he's not real big on rubbing his ears and licking. So I went ahead and covered it with the Neosporin, and I cleaned all the blood off. I used some sterile water I covered it with the Neosporin, which helps with pain and any kind of infection. And then he has his drops, and I'm going to put some more. And I put some, cedar oil on him, but it did rain a little bit last night, and so I'm going to put some lemongrass oil on him today, which helps to keep things away from his ears. This has happened every year, but he's good. He's fine. He's ancient. I've been saying that Miss Pip is 4, but I got a post today from which, you know how Facebook shows you a post from the past, and it was from 5 years ago when we first got her, so she's 5. But anywho, everyone's doing great. I do make my own tea, and I refill these, but I also like these. So I've been keeping 3 to 4 of these in the fridge full of water, just cold water. And so at noon I come out and I put a lot of ice in there and the frozen bottles. And then I come out and I refill Chaos's water with cold water. I add the refrigerated water to all their drinking water throughout the day. And if it needs cleaned, I clean it. Some people use straight Clorox. I use Clorox cleanup, and then I make sure I rinse it really well. But that is awesome at getting rid of the germs, the bacteria. Yeah, Mom's hand's small. She can't hold 3 bottles. Whew. And I dropped it again. Yeah, I'm going to have to hold it against my chest. My chest is small too. It'd be different if I had a nice big breast that I could wedge these between. But anywho, these are the bottles that I freeze and put in there. But because their ice had melted, and I came out and just put a whole jug of refrigerated water and some ice in there. You can see them all gathering around it. They've got cool water. That's that black dot in the bottom over there underneath that shade cloth. They got fresh cold water under that tree. And they got 2 different water sources inside. So they're good. We're all good. The heat's back and we're not happy about it. And I'm going to go in and doctor my leg and get the blood out of my shoe and call it a Wednesday. But I had a few new subscribers in the last couple of weeks. I want to say welcome and thank you. I want to send out a special hello to Shelly. She knows who she is. She's in North Carolina. She's got to be one of my best subscribers. I think of her as a friend now. She's just always so positive and supportive. And when you're an introvert and you don't have what I call tactile friends, I don't have friends here. It's just me and my chickens and my cats and my roommate. It helps. So anybody who wants to comment, make a comment. I'll answer you back. I don't want to hear any negative bullshit because I don't need to hear it. And I don't need to be weighed down with it. And also, if you look in the about in my YouTube, I put my mailing address in there. So if there's some of you who just want to talk via pen pal, I'm a great pen pal. I always have been. And I don't type. I type. I'm a great typist, but my printer's kind of wonky. So if I reply to you, you're going to probably get a handwritten card or note. I like doing that. I like having people to respond to. So yeah. And then once my new partial retainer thingy comes in, if anybody's interested, we'll try to do a live. And I'll put my face on the camera. I know it's scary, but anyhow. Everybody take care. Stay cool. Keep everyone who's lost lives and property in the wildfires from Hawaii to Canada to all over the country. Just keep your fellow humans in your prayers, and I'll keep you all in my prayers. Love you. Bye.